What are you going to do with those pies, boys?
Hello, cadets. Welcome to another episode of General Howitzer's Big Monster Briefing Room. I am General Lemuel T. Howitzer, retired. Let me bring up my able-bodied assistant, Miss Millie Hazzard.
Hey, I like your glasses. What kind of glasses are those, General?
Yonkers.
Later on from New Island, and
I just came in from the shooting range.
Oh, that's very.
I smell like gunpowder and cordite. I smell like a man.
You smell. Well, of course you do. You're a general. You know, how are you? How's your accuracy?
Retired.
Yeah, now that you're retired, but how's your accuracy? Have you maintained accuracy?
I'm a crack shot. I'm a marksman.
Okay. Well, you know, some men as they get older, their accuracy is not so great. So I'm just wondering.
Well, I mean, I can't see as much here now because my phone is my camera, and I dropped it yesterday and shattered the glass. I hope I look okay. I hope I don't look fractured.
You look absolutely wonderful, General.
But there it
Don't
is.
worry about it. It's a good look on you. I think you should be wearing these. Oh, I was hoping you would wear them for the whole the duration.
You want me to wear these for the whole show?
Well, they're pretty striking. We can ask Miss Ruby when she comes up, but I think Ruby's even got some glasses too.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring her up then.
Let's bring her up. She looks like she matches you, General.
I put my glasses on for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I put them back on then.
So are we all wearing glasses? I don't know. I can't. We'll see how well I can see.
We can't see Major Hazzard. She's probably on some kind of crazy assignment or something.
I can actually
but
see.
I am wearing glasses, though.
In the photo, she's wearing glasses, though, but that was taken months ago.
This is
I can actually see better with that.
You're 3 glasses to the wind, everybody.
These are great glasses for driving.
Are you ready for the fog, Miss Ruby Rae Moore?
Ready. I watched it twice this week. I'm so ready.
Are you ready for the fog?
That's one. Where's the peach tea? Speaking of noises, where's the peach tea, General?
When you pull Grandpa's finger, you experience the fog.
The fog. The fog. Okay, hold on.
You really do.
I sent her one of these a couple months ago. I thought she kept it readily available.
A gnome mug?
Yes, there it is. That was the little one. Yes, I've got my decapitated gnome mug. Are you happy?
Very, very happy. Thank you. And let's get those noises going.
Yeah. Peach tea. So there it is. So the fog. We start with a quote from Edgar Allan Poe. Is all we see or seem but a dream within a dream? Okay.
Ooh.
And then
we profound. You know, it's a very profound way to start the fog. I was very impressed by that. It's poignant, even.
Yeah. You got to realize that he had just come off of. I mean, Carpenter at the time was getting a name for himself as being kind of an artsy director of these training films. He just did Halloween. A really scary movie with no blood in it at all. But it did kind of start a wave of really bloody, like, slasher films. And now we have kind of a supernatural. We had Ruby Rae. We had Ruby Rae Moore.
He doesn't do it without the peach tea. He always does it with the fuel of the peach tea. We have to wait for the gnome. Yeah.
So we brought Ruby Rae. Why can't I say your name?
Ruby. Just call me
What
Swiss.
the hell is in this beach day? Ruby Rae Moore came on when we did the Poltergeist show.
Love me Poltergeist. It's one of my favorites.
So, it's only apropos that she would be here for this. She is a Stephen King aficionado, as well as, and she knows her John Carpenter as well. So,
we always love having
this was
Ruby
his,
Rae Moore here. We love having her here. Whenever she's here, it's instantly elevated. The whole game is just, instantly elevated. She classes it up. We appreciate you, Miss.
I was instantly elevated.
I love it. I love it.
The minute we heard that, I was instantly elevated. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. This is just beautiful. I love both of you.
She instantly elevates it, and then I just bring it right back down.
That's right. That's the
Elevate,
equilibrium.
I don't know where.
We start with a gold watch, and it snaps shut with an old man's hand. Some kids are watching John Houseman tell ghost stories.
Tales around the campfire.
It's John Houseman. I'm going to scare all of you children just by looking at you. And I don't even have to tell a story. But he does tell a story. He tells the story of Antonio Bay and how there was a leprosy colony wanting to move in next door.
Yes.
So the people in Antonio Bay, which was just establishing itself, decided to fake a fire on the shore to make the ship with the lepers crash and all drown. And they took the gold from the ship to start the town and do other things. So, so I don't want to spoil it too bad before the end of the show, but there it is. They took the money. So this movie is about the vengeful ghosts of those leprosy
Ghost.
lepers.
The leper ghost.
They're leper ghosts. That's what they are.
Ghostly
Not unlike a leprechaun.
Ghostly lepers.
I want me gold. Where is me gold?
Ghostly lepers.
Now, if you don't recognize that guy, he's Father Malone's assistant. He wants his money for this week. Father Malone says, why don't you come in a little later tomorrow? That's actually the director, John Carpenter.
That's right. He kind of inserts himself there, hey?
That was his little cameo. Father, what the hell's his name?
I'll tell you. Hold on.
I got credits here.
I got my IMBD, but it's stuck on Adrian. It got stuck on her.
Adrian Barbeau plays Stevie Wayne. We'll get to her.
Where's the rest of it? There we go. Hold on.
Yeah. By the way, Carpenter did the score for this, as he did with Halloween, and it's a very superior score. It's a really awesome score. I have to admit. Come on now.
I know mine's not. I'm having tech gremlins right
Father
now.
O'Leary.
You got him?
No.
Father, hold on, wait.
I got to pull up. I get my other phone here and IMDb it.
I'm gonna have it. Hold on. Father Malone.
Father Malone.
Father Malone.
So there it is. And Jamie Lee Curtis is in this. She's playing Elizabeth. Her mom is in this, Janet Leigh.
Yes.
She plays Kathy Williams, who's one of the town's. Okay, so the whole town's kind of going crazy this night between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. It's the 100-year anniversary of when they crashed that ship.
Yeah.
With Blake and his crew. The guy's name is Blake. And the father, a rock just falls out of the wall onto his table when he gets up to see his assistant out. And there's a journal in there behind the wall. And he reads it. And it's his grandfather's journal.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And
so
session, right?
Yeah. So yeah, as the hour wears on, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on in the town. Bottles rattling, books flying, whatever. All kinds of crazy stuff's happening.
Yeah.
Car lots with cars turned off. All of a sudden, their horns and lights light up.
All at a certain times, right?
All, within that brief period of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just the whole town comes apart for that one little hour slot. And Father Malone, again, gets his little scare with the rock falling out of the wall. And he reads the journal of his grandfather, who tells the story that Mr. Machen, that was the John Houseman's only in it for the first 2 minutes. First 3 minutes. When he tells the story of how they killed the lepers. There's a gas station that's lights just come on and all kinds of stuff starts going on. There's the cars. All their lights and horns start blaring. So, the tension is building. This Nancy Loomis, she plays... she changed her name, this actress. She's now Nancy Kyes, or Keys, Kyes.
She's in his movies frequently, right?
Yeah, she was in all of his early movies, yeah.
Yeah.
She was in Assault on Precinct 13. She was in Halloween as Laurie's best friend. One of the first people gets killed.
Yes.
In the house.
Exactly.
He lays her out on the bed.
Oh, this guy. I used to work with a lady who had a crush on this fella.
This is Tom Atkins.
That's his name.
Tom Atkins is also in a lot of John Carpenter stuff.
Yes.
He was in Halloween 3 as the hero. He's really good in this. This is probably my favorite Tom Atkins role because he plays Nick Castle. Nick Castle is actually the name of the actor who played the Shape. He played Michael Myers in the first movie.
Oh.
So Carpenter wrote the script, and he named him Nick Castle.
Howitzer, you know everything.
Yeah, So he sees his name's Nick, and he's on his way home, I guess, in his truck, and he sees a hitchhiker, and he picks her up. And it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
And she's very young here. Her name's Elizabeth Solly, and she likes weird.
Yeah. She don't mind.
She's like, "Are you weird?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm very weird." Oh, great. The last guy was in his car. And he catches her lying a lot to him, too, which is really kind of funny. I thought you said you'd only been hitchhiking for a week or whatever it is she says. He calls her. And there's Stevie Wayne, the nighttime radio DJ for the town.
Yes, she's the best. This is the best.
And it's Adrienne Barbeau, who's also the wife of John Carpenter.
Yes, and she has the best job, I think, in this movie. It's such a cool job and a cool place to work. It just looks like a cool place.
She's an interesting person. Yes, there's no doubt. She's a very strong female lead character. And she's talking to the weatherman, who's also played by John Cipher, who's a regular in the John Carpenter films. He plays the sheriff in Halloween. He's also in Precinct 13. He's in this. He does a lot of character roles in John Carpenter films. That's Buck Flowers looking out the window of the boat. Stevie Wayne warns them about the fog bank moving in.
Yeah.
And what's weird is that the fog bank is moving against the wind.
Yeah, what a strange thing.
And it's glowing. It's not just fog, it's glowing fog. Father Malone. I said that because I looked over my screen and my slide finally changed over. It's taken forever to do anything.
It did? Oh, no.
It's in that situation where you just hate it. So Buck Flowers also appears in a lot. He's the one on the right. He also appears in a lot of John Carpenter stuff. He's a kind of a character actor that's infamous for being in a lot of weird movies.
There.
He's in They Live. He's the guy in They Live who sells out to the aliens.
I love that movie.
And he has no front teeth.
Have you guys done that one yet? You guys got to do that.
We haven't done They Live yet.
Get it? There's someone out there that is a total expert on that, and I can't wait till you guys do it. I'm going to tell that person to get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously you're our John Carpenter person, so we would call you for that show. So
Not me. No, continue. That movie that's just movie just been coming up so much lately.
yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned it.
So the things start happening. The lights go out on the ship. The engine, the fog gets in the engine. Now, it's a very smart fog. It does things like cut phone lines and kill engines. So they look up and they see a ship, like an old pirate ship kind of ship, and it's the Elizabeth Day, and that's the husband, Al Williams, of the town. What do I say? Ingenue? No. She's one of the town matriarchs. Well, there you go.
Yeah. One of like the founding families, correct?
Yeah. So her husband just gets killed by these ghosts that are in the fog, and they carry these meat hooks and scythes and things, crazy old killing things. And this guy's inside the boat, and he thinks it's one of the guys coming in, and it's one of the ghosts, and the ghost pokes his eyes out.
Yeah, they're very creepy phantoms with all their bandages and everything.
Yeah, well, they're lepers. They're leper ghosts.
Yes.
And Stevie Wayne smokes a cigarette.
She just cool when she's doing it, though. She just love her.
They do a lot of that in this. It's like when crazy weird stuff happens, right after it happens, somebody lights up. So there she is smoking a cigarette. Okay, the fog's. Wait a minute, there's the fog.
You tell I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
And she notices that it's glowing.
Oh, look at Hitchhiker.
And boom, we get Nick and Elizabeth in the bed together. And he's looking at her artwork. And he's like, I got to buy this one. And she's quite taken with him.
Yeah, well.
We talked about him when we talked about when we did the episode on Creepshow.
Yes, because he
wanted to be he wanted to be Jordy Verrill in the movie. They said no, John. Stephen King has already asked for that. So he ended up being the father who smacked Stephen King's son. He got his revenge. He got to smack Stephen King's son.
He did.
Oh, your dad's gonna play that role, huh?
That's awful. Ooh.
So, yeah, they're doing their Vicky Waka, and all of a sudden there's a tap on the door. That was the one thing about this film that was really creepy, was the way they knocked on the door, the really slow, methodical thump, thump, thump. When they knocked on the door, you just knew it wasn't a pizza guy delivering. It was
it's someone,
some creepy guy with a scythe.
Taking so much energy to knock, like spiritual energy to knock that creepy knock, but they can like slice and dice.
They know their knock. They know their creepy knocks. Those leper ghosts.
Ghostly lepers.
I like leper ghosts. It's like leprechauns. I just like that.
Tomato. Let's go.
I'm gonna get you with me, scythe. So Nick gets up, and he's in his wife beater shirt. He's looking pretty badass, and he slowly makes his way towards the door. I'm going to open the door. He puts the key in. I mean, they build the tension really nicely, and then the clock strikes one and shatters. And he looks back over his shoulder like, what the hell? And there's nobody there when he opens the door. The whole town is quiet now. The next morning, Stevie Wayne's son, Andy, goes down to the beach.
Hanging out by the beach on his own.
Yeah.
Back in the good old days. Because he's young.
Yeah. Living the life of a kid on the beach. So he goes down there and he sees something shining. And he goes down to the rocks by the water. And he sees a coin. There's a coin there in the rocks. And he's like, oh, cool. A pirate coin. Yeah. And he goes down to reach for it. And the waves wash over it again. And all of a sudden it's a piece of wood.
That's right. And what does it say?
It says, Jane.
Jane. My favorite part.
You were saying that earlier this week, and it was cracking me up. Elizabeth Jane. Sounds like Bane. I'm going to break you.
I've been waiting for this part.
So he's like freaked out by that too. He's like, oh, that's cool. He's gonna take it home to his mom, show his mom.
Yeah.
So he wakes her ass up. She's got the night shift.
Yeah.
Wakes her ass up to show her this nice piece of dirty ass driftwood. Nick and Elizabeth says decided to stick around for a while, sell some more art maybe. He checks with the harbor master about his friends, which he heard on the radio that they hadn't come in. They're out to sea overnight, which they never do. He says they're very responsible. They don't go out and get drunk and not come back, and he's worried about them. So he tells her he's going to rent a boat and they're going to go out looking for him. Al Williams and his crew. And then we meet Al Williams' wife, who's getting ready for the big 100-year celebration that night.
Yes.
And she's kind of crazy and nervous, and her assistant Sandy is keeping her in check. She's keeping her down, doing what secretaries do, holding it all together.
Indeed.
And they hop in the station wagon. I wonder if that's the station wagon from no, because it's got wood panels on the side. He says John Carpenter likes station wagons.
Oh yeah, is that right? I did not know that.
Well, a station wagon is the most prominent vehicle in Halloween as well. Escaping from the insane asylum in the station wagon and going to Haddonfield.
Something I would even notice. I love when people notice shit like that. That's a great little trivia bit.
Yeah,
Huh.
But they like them in vacation too, so. All right, I amused myself. Nick is out on the boat, and they see Al's boat. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So they decide to go out. Meanwhile, that's the one thing about this film. The editing is kind of jumpy. They're talking about how Al did not come home last night, and Sandy's like, "Oh my God, are you sure you want to do this thing tonight?" She's worried, and she's like, "Oh, my crazy dog was barking last night. That's all I can think about." And again, that's Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. Janet Leigh, psycho. She's a good actress. So on the boat, they noticed that the engine has got water in it. Underneath, it looks like the boat was capsized and submerged, but the deck is dry as a pie crust. Everything up top looks fine. A little bit of schmutz here and there on the deck, but,
That metaphysical power.
Yeah. So up to Father Malone's. That's where Sandy and her boss are going. What is her name? Miss Williams. I'll just have to call her Miss Williams.
Here, I'll tell you. I think it's Kathy Williams.
Is it Kathy Williams?
Kathy Williams, yeah.
So Father Malone pulls out that journal and starts reading to them the story that Mr. Mackin was telling the kids at the beginning about the lepers and Father Malone and 7 other conspirators. There was 8, right? 8 conspirators?
I believe so. And he is basically trying to warn them almost, and he's...
Oh, maybe 9, because they killed 3 of the guys on the boat, right?
The names, I'm not sure. This is...
Yeah, because later the boat says 6 will die. So 3 have already died, 6 will die. So there's 9 conspirators in the original conspiracy. And he's telling them about this, and they're not happy about it. He's saying this whole thing is a travesty. We're honoring murderers. Again, in the boat, they're seeing all kinds of weird stuff. Everything's shattered, all the instruments. The boat just looks like shite, and they can't explain it. He said, "I saw this boat go out 2 days ago, and it was pristine. It was perfect." looks like it's been out to sea, and it looks like it's been capsized.
Yeah.
It looks like hell. I can't figure this out.
It's suspicious. Lorraine just said suspicious.
Yeah. Father Malone continues, and they don't know what to do. They're like, "Oh, so you're not going to be part of the ceremony tonight?"
Really?
No.
Centennial.
I'm staying right here. I'm going to stay here and drink.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He is not right in the
I
head.
should do my Hal Holbrook impersonation. I'm going to stay here and drink.
Self-hating to deal with what's coming.
So they're talking underneath the ship. Why they would go down below to talk, I don't know, but I guess, anyway, it's John Carpenter. So he's telling stories about, how, they used to go out fishing and everything, and she's listening and paying good attention. And we see a little thing happen with a door on a locker. It looks like it's going to open, and that opens, and it's a false scare. And then the dead guy comes out, and he's got no eyes.
No eyes. Oh, and it looks like a mask. It just looks
and
like
he's all over her back.
that out my
And there's no blood. So I love this. This is the money shot right here for the movie. Her going down to that lighthouse on this big long staircase.
I'm saying where she works.
That's cool.
Sweet job, General.
So whoever was the agent that went looking for locations on this, oh my God, they did a
Beautiful.
crack job on that, man. That looks fantastic.
I dream
Very
about
realistic.
it. I dream about it.
So and then we get the set. The sets. So she goes in, she's listening to a tape recorder that's doing the ads for the radio station. And she puts the piece of wood on top of a tape deck there next to the recorder. And it starts leaking seawater. It starts dripping seawater all over the place out of the words Dane.
That's right.
Then it starts to mess with the recorder, and you start hearing a ghostly voice saying, "You're going to get out of there. You just will die." And she starts to hear the tape, and she's like, "What the hell?" And she turns around, and the sign has changed to 6 must die. And then it flames up. It just spontaneously combusts, which is weird.
Mostly shit. Well,
But again, this whole film is weird. It's supernatural.
Supernatural.
Weird.
They
Supernatural weird.
The supernatural. Yeah. It's very.
So she freaks out when it catches fire because it's wet. Again, weird. She takes a fire extinguisher. She's actually very good with a fire extinguisher. She knows what she's doing. That, by the way, is Adrienne Barbeau's butt.
She looks so sexy, just
Yeah, bending over and using the fire extinguisher.
with her hair up to man. I want to be her for Halloween.
Adrienne, you need to use the fire extinguisher on me. Okay.
Ruby. Oh.
And I'll forgive you for Swamp Thing. So the doctor is looking over the body, and he says, "You want to come out here and talk to me for a second?" And they leave Elizabeth alone with the corpse, which is nice.
Sorry.
And he's like, "You know what? I know he went out 2 days ago, but I could swear he's been under the water for like months. Yeah. He's got like schmutz under his nails." He's kind of so as she turns away from the corpse reanimates and picks up a scalpel off the tray next to it. His feet come off the gurney. He starts heading for her. This is the typical John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis bit. You look behind her and you see the shape, whatever it is, if it's Michael Myers or this guy. You see behind it, and that really ratchets up the tension. because you just kind of see it out of focus in the back.
Yeah, and she's always standing so stoically, and she's kind of got that pose.
Yeah. What should I worry about?
Right.
You know.
Very
And he
weird.
falls next to her, scaring the living crap out of her. Luckily, she doesn't get a scalpel in the back.
What the
And she screams, and all mayhem, all hell breaks loose, and they come in. Oh, we went back.
What?
There it is. She screams as he falls. They go, they react, they go in, and he's written 3 on the floor.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So 3 have died. Is basically what he's telling them. The other 2 guys that are disappeared, guess what? They're dead. So we get a montage of the peaceful, quiet little town of Antonio Bay as the sun sets, and the surrounding area, the woods and stuff around, and it's nice and peaceful and quiet, and you just know this is the calm before the storm.
I need to address, like, the dude just zombied up off the gurney and grabbed a scalpel and etched a number 3 in the floor. And does anybody ever really acknowledge the fact that there's like a fucking zombie there? I'm confused.
You got a good point. I mean, it's bad enough that
happening. Where it's ever
how the hell did he do that?
like it's just just something that happens.
I mean, Elizabeth, what the hell are you doing dancing around with the body? What are you making him right on the floor? Elizabeth, stop that. Quit playing with the dead bodies. I didn't touch it.
I'm sorry. I wanted to touch on that for a second.
It's an excellent point.
I'm sorry.
Nobody says, oh my God, he's a zombie.
That's some of the weird shit that just stands out for me when I watch movies like this.
He's a walking corpse.
And it's just,
I'm upset that I didn't catch that. I'm like, damn.
No, don't. That's
But I'm glad you did. I'm glad we said something about it because it's an excellent point. Nobody even acknowledged. I don't think anybody says anything later about, oh, you know what? Also, he got up off the gurney and walked around with a knife.
Etched a fucking 3 in the floor. Excuse me.
He had enough animation in his body to write a 3 on the floor with a scalpel.
Bob says
how hard that is to do on a floor, a ceramic floor.
I love it though. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun to watch.
So yeah, they're getting ready for the big town soiree, and Nick tells Miss Williams that her husband has disappeared, and she's pretty okay with it. Oh, I didn't like him anyway.
With the fact that all this weird shit's going on, they're just like, "Woo, we're
100 years.
100 years.
Time for the celebration. Let's light candles." Sandy's the only one. Like at every point, Sandy's like, "Are you sure you want to continue going on with this? Are you sure you want to do this?" She's the only voice of reason in the whole group. Oh, by the way, he got off the gurney and his friend scratched a 3 in the floor. So your husband could be walking around. He's probably dead. Probably doesn't have eyes, but okay, I'm sorry, that was insensitive. So they're listening to the radio. Stevie Wayne is on, and she talks about another fog bank moving in, and they perk up like deers in headlights. Whoa, did she say fog? What? So they call her. Nick calls the radio station, and he talks to Stevie, and she tells him about seeing the fog last night. Heading towards the ship. And he tells her about what happened to the ship, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And she goes, "There was a weird thing. This is a weird thing. The fog was glowing, and it was moving against the wind." So now Nick is starting to believe there's some serious, weird, supernatural shit going on here.
Some witchy shit going down.
And tell the kids to keep those masks off their heads.
Oh gosh, Silver Shamrock.
The weather guy, Dan, the weather guy, goes back to his studio there, and he sees the fog coming in. And Daryl Igus, who you might remember from the TV show Fridays, plays his assistant in this. It's a quick bit. He just basically hands over the keys to Dan, and Dan's like, "Hey, I'm going to talk to Stevie Wayne." Hey.
Oh yeah, he's
because he's got a thing for her, you know. He's hoping.
She's kind of kind to him, isn't she? She's not.
So you got your fire extinguisher, babe? What do you got for me, Dan? So Dan tells her that the fog is coming in again. It's moving inland, and she's like, "Ugh." And she remembers what Nick told her, and she's not happy about it. And he goes, "Oh, look, it's outside my window, and it's glowing."
Yeah.
You can see behind him the window starts to glow with the fog coming in. And she's like, "Don't go to the door, Dan. Don't open the door. Somebody's knocking at my door." And he goes, "I'm going to the door, and they're not going to like what they find." He's Mr. Smartass show off. And of course he gets killed. So she goes, "I got to call the sheriff. Sheriff, please call me. Call me here at the station. Wherever you are." And this is where the fog takes out the phone lines, which is, I don't know. To me, it's hysterical. Fog that can take out your phone lines.
Look, this fog is doing all sorts of wicked shit. At this point in the movie, does anything surprise you?
No.
We have to.
So luckily, the town meeting is all about lighting candles. So they decide to go ahead and do the candle lighting ceremony. And Stevie's looking out the window going, "Oh my God, it's heading for my house."
But everyone else is all.
And here comes my favorite part. This sweet little old lady, Mrs. Kobritz, is watching over Andy.
Oh yeah.
And then Nick gets to the he drives his truck with Elizabeth to the weatherman station, and obviously there's been a skirmish, but there's nobody there. So again, they're listening to the radio. They're trying to follow what Stevie Wayne is telling them to do. And again, she's like, "Please go to my house, save my son. The fog is heading to my house." Now, anybody who listens to the radio thinks this bitch has gone completely bonkers. She's nuts.
Everybody's in town listening.
There's something in the fog. Please go to my house and save my son from the fog.
Oh yeah, because it's close.
Here comes the fog. It's around Andy's house. Mrs. Kobritz, don't open the door. Oh. Oh, that was a double.
I know.
It's really there. She is freaking out. And Andy's like, "What? Who's at the door, Miss Kobritz? Go away, Andy. Go. Lock yourself in your room." And this sweet little old lady gets hacked to death by the leper ghosts. Take that, you little old bitch. So they hear on the radio, "Hey, go to my house. It's a blah, 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 blah." She gives the address. Excuse me, Peachy. She gives the address. The guy is breaking through Andy's door as they pull up. Luckily, they're close.
Ooh, with his leopard bandage arm.
That's four. Four are dead now.
4 dead now.
Only 4 dead now, including Miss Kobritz. And she's probably one of the descendants of the original conspirators. That's my theory. That's why they went to Andy's house, because they knew Mrs. Kobritz was going to be there.
Yeah.
And Stevie Wayne, I think, is one of the descendants of one of the original conspirators. Because they're after her and her son.
Yeah.
So Nick shows up just in the nick of time. He breaks the window. He's like, "Come on, kid."
Pulls him out.
And he's just frightened, terrified. He's just sitting there like a bump on a log on his bed. And he gets him out just in time. and the fog starts heading for the truck.
Yeah.
As you get into truck. I forgot to mention too that one of the things that happened the last night was that Nick's truck windows just completely shattered in their face.
Yeah.
Which was weird. and there was no reason for it at all. It just happened. So he and Elizabeth are driving around with no windows in the truck, just jagged glass poking out. Very dangerous. And of course we have the obligatory, oh my God, one of the wheels is stuck. See, Elizabeth is driving, but they managed to get the truck moving backwards and away from the fog. And again, it's moving inland. All hell's about to break loose. So Stevie tells the town, go to the church. You know, if you're out and you're not in your home locked up, go to the church.
Go to where they're fucking headed.
Yeah. Because Father Malone is there, he'll protect you. Drunk old Father Malone will protect you.
He's not going to protect shit.
It's not vampires, for crying out loud. It's fog.
Exactly.
It's leper ghosts.
Ghostly lepers.
You don't go to a church for a leper ghost, for crying out loud.
What
See the jagged glass?
Fucking dried out bugs in their face because they're not going slow. They're not driving slow.
They like crosses, especially gold ones.
There's not a lot of wind in their face or anything.
Yeah, you would expect them to get out of that truck and their hair to just be fly all over the place, especially her. But no.
Well, a little boy, you know, his hair's, you know, he's a boy. Mess. I'm sorry. I'm ruining it. It's
no, not at all.
I love this movie.
So I like this shot of the truck stopping because they realize that the fog has cut them off at the pass. Oh shit! Fuck, there it comes. Go back up. Can we go to the church? She said go to the church, right? Please go to the church. Father Malone is there. She doesn't know. And then the station wagon hits the fog. And for some reason, Miss Williams, I'm going to call her. Or no, I'm sorry. It's Sandy. Sandy's driving. Sandy realizes maybe we should go to the church. This is maybe we should listen to the crazy lady on the radio. It's a mass hysteria thing. It's like a mass hypnosis thing. They all believe that the fog is out to kill them now because of Stevie Wayne.
Well,
so they go up to the church.
They should hurry.
Now, as fast as that goddamn truck is in the rest of this movie, they end up getting there about the same time. And of course, Father Malone is soused. We're honoring dead murderers, I'm telling you.
This came out in like 80. Someone's asking what?
1980.
1980. 80, yes.
1980. Yeah. They shot it in 79, the year after Halloween came out, and it was released in 80. And they actually had to release it a little later than they wanted to. They wanted to release it in 79 and Christmas. But, because it's a feel-good movie. And Mrs. Cobritz.
I like this kind of shit at the holidays.
So they had to release it. I think it was February of 80 that they released it. Halloween, I would have held back, scary.
Yeah.
So Stevie Wayne is telling her son, I'm so sorry. I hope somebody saved you. I hope somebody rescued you. I have to stay here and warn people. I have to stay here and tell people I'm insane. And then she sees the fog coming in around her, around the lighthouse. And of course, the lights go out in the lighthouse. It gets to her generator.
It chokes her right out.
And she turns on the gas generator downstairs, and they start tapping at the door. And this is when the hands start coming through the stained glass windows of the church. Which, by the way, because they're not vampires, they're leper ghosts. So I have to admit the way they shot these hands coming through, and there's like 5 different shots of hands coming through different stained glass windows. It is nice and creepy. It's a nice visual.
Well, yeah.
With the light behind it.
Yeah.
And again, they're reaching for hair. It's the whole bat in the hair thing. Oh my God, he's got my hair.
Oh, yes, exactly though.
So Stevie realizes, oh my God, he's going to come through this door. He's breaking this door down, and he does. And she runs upstairs, tries to get away from the ghost. I think that's a stunt woman.
I do too.
The hair doesn't look right. It looks like a Barbie doll that somebody's moving around.
I think they used to sometimes throw a wig on a man and
yeah, it's a man, baby.
Thing.
And there's Nancy getting her hair pulled. and Father Malone breaks the wall hole down a little further, and he realizes there's something else in here. It's a giant gold cross. They melted down the gold, Blake's gold, and they turned it into a giant cross. And he hid in the wall.
And what's
why? Why would the older Father Malone tuck that away in a wall for 100 years?
To hide it, to keep. But I mean, it's a forge. What good does it do? What good does the
exactly
gold have it?
I would take that gold and use it to make a better church.
I mean, but they don't. I mean, it's
feed the poor.
They seem to have a really beautiful. It's probably price points are pretty high. But what? How? What if they got rich off of killing the lepers? Well, how do they make any money if they just melt it into a cross?
Statute of limitations is 7 years, right? You wanted to hide the money, and then maybe he died within 7 years after they were going to hide the money, and then maybe 10 years later, then he died. I don't know.
Man,
maybe I'm overthinking it.
I'm definitely overthinking it at this point.
So Stevie climbs up to the very tip top of the lighthouse there because there's nowhere else to go, and that's what you do. You're not going to jump off into the water, that's for sure. There's jagged rocks below.
No.
So in the church, Blake comes in. He's played by special effects guy Rob Bottin, who did the special effects for The Thing for John Carpenter, which are awesome. He did special effects for Joe Dante in Piranha and in The Howling. So he's playing the Blake character with the red eyes.
There we go. I found him.
Yeah. And Father Malone takes the gold cross out there. He's going to save everybody. He says, "Take me. I'm the last of the 5 conspirators." So, yeah, the weatherman was 6, right?
I thought, yeah, 6, and then the old lady.
Old lady 7. So maybe it was 8 conspirators. But they killed 3 people on the boat, though.
Yeah, there's 3 people because 3 etched in the floor by the zombie that no one ever freaking mentions again.
Yeah.
And then there's 6 will die. Is there only 6?
6 conspirators, I guess.
Maybe it's only 6.
That's it. It's 6 conspirators. 6 will die. 6 must die. That's what it is.
Like,
My bad. Again, overthinking it.
No. That's
so 5 have died. For a horror movie, that's not a very, very high kill count, but
you gotta get into it. Don't beat yourself up.
So, Father Malone is like, take me, Blake, and here's your gold. That was a terrible Hal Holbrook. Take me, Blake, take your gold. Pepperidge Farm. We were doing that the other day. We were doing the Pepperidge Farm guys. And Hal Holbrook sounds like the Pepperidge Farm guys. He does. Remember a time when cookies were... Never mind. So, yeah, you got the scythe there coming up the ladder, building the tension with Stevie Wayne. There he comes up the ladder. Rags hanging off of him.
I love it. She's so great afraid. She just is the best afraid.
She does do fear very well.
She's good at it. She's good.
But she's very strong when she's afraid still. She's kicking. She's fighting. She's a very strong character.
I falling off the fucking lighthouse. Give me that shit.
You're not gonna have me. Whoa!
I wouldn't have made it up.
Jump right off into the rocks.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're getting really darn close. They're surrounding her, and I can't even see that. Oh, that's the guy's face with the maggots and stuff on it.
Yeah, he's all the leopard.
And again, the stuff is getting serious at the church. People are getting pulled at the windows. And Father Malone, Blake grabs the cross, and it starts to glow. The gold starts to glow, and Father Malone starts to glow from the reflection. And just before it kind of disappears with Blake, Nick peeks in, sees what's going on, and he grabs Father Malone and pulls him to the floor, getting him away from Blake. So still only 5 have died, but Blake got his gold back. And that's that.
That's right.
There he is. They pulled him to the floor. So at that moment, the fog disappears completely. It dissipates. And all of the creepy guys, the leper ghosts, disappear. And up on the roof, also, they're all gone. And Stevie is like, what? And Nick lights a cigarette. What'd I tell you?
Hey.
Stevie Wayne gets on the radio. She tells him, beware the fog. Nice little speech at the end there. And Father Malone is like, why not me, Blake? Why didn't you take me? And we see a little fog coming up under the doorway again. Uh-oh. Little glowing fog there. Turn around, Father Malone, and he gets decapitated. Ding, 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 and we get the credits. And we get a lovely little John Carpenter theme there for the fog. the upbeat version.
That was great.
Great. Yeah. So, and there it is. Nice little movie. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, or when I was younger, I was about 18. This movie came out, and this was the first VHS movie that I wore the hell out of. I just watched it over and over and over again with my friends. We could quote huge chunks of dialogue from it, which I can't do now. I can't remember any of it. But, yeah, I mean, we just thought it was a really badass film, and we just watched it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I remember that, and Diamonds Are Forever. I don't know why, but we watched Diamonds Are Forever over and over again.
I agree with you on that though, and I think that wasn't that like my full like pick me. I have it on VHS and DVD. I'm waiting for you to pull a laser disc out of my ass.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
I've seen it so much, but my brain is so fried that I can't remember half of it. But I love discovering all the fun, weird things again when I go back and watch these movies with you.
Well, the funniest thing was when you hit upon it was the walking body of the dead guy, and nobody says anything about it. Nobody says a word. We're not talking about this, okay? We're not saying it. He walked from that gurney right over to here, and he scratched on the floor.
Hard ass mortuary linoleum floor. The fucking floor was full of asbestos. 3. Come on, not a mention.
not a peep. Nobody talk about this.
Candles at the ceremony.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and helping me with the fog.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
That's it. Pull my finger, says Blake. There's the fog. It's glowing. And hey, just in time for Cinco de Mayo. Eat refried beans, drink beer in the fog. May the 4th be with you, by the way.
And also with you.
Yeah. And you all take care and keep an eye out for those big monsters and leper ghosts.